We've had another trip around the sun for Anderson County, and I'm going to start with some of the significant news stories from the year, and we'll go from there. I guess construction and infrastructure sort of took center stage again. In construction, let's talk first about the $80 million detention center. Is it still on schedule to open, and how did it go this year?
As a matter of fact, it's a little ahead of schedule, probably maybe about by a month. So yeah, they're doing wonderfully well. They're a good company, and we've had very few issues at all, but it's going wonderfully well. And they've started putting the cells in, which is really neat because it's almost like the cell has already been built and they just push it in with a forklift and then they tie it in and the cell's there. It's prefab cells.
So they can add on to it if they ever need to.
Absolutely.
And it'll be occupied by summer, do you think?
No, I'd say a little bit later than that. Okay. Even though they're ahead of schedule, that's a massive project.
Right. And the waiting list to get in is still not getting any shorter.
No. Plenty of applicants for the new rooms, plenty.
The other one, the new wastewater treatment center in Pendleton, was another major project this year. Remind everybody who all it will serve, and I guess it's still on schedule for the summer?
It will serve, yes. It will serve the city of Clemson, the town of Pendleton, and that section of Anderson County. We're actually in very good shape with sewer. We're probably good in the Anderson area to 2040. I'm pretty sure of that. That's what our information leads us to believe. Naturally, we won't sit and wait till 2040 and go, hey, we better do something.
Hard to believe that's not that far away.
That's true. But then right now we're in good shape to 2040, and we'll do some minor things on that. And then the Pendleton, Clemson, Anderson plant will be fine. It'll take us for a long time. So we're in really good shape. We've refurbished a lot of our old sewer lines. You know, we've closed 6 and 20. We're sending that flow to the city. So our sewer department's in really good shape.
And if people haven't seen this, the major renovation of the historic courthouse are highly visible this year. The 3/4 of the scaffolding's down. What's left to finish on the front to get the rest of the scaffolding?
Some more intricate brick work and copper work up there because it is the very top. So that's where we are on that right now. So we're hoping by the end of January everything will be gone and cleared out. But the scaffolding that does remain, we have decorated for Christmas.
I saw that. And if people have not seen that copper on the top, it is a sight to behold.
You can, if you see it, if you're coming from South Main Street coming this way and the sun's out, it just shines. It's a beacon.
Yeah, it really looks good. Did it came in a little under budget, is that right?
Well, so far we're doing good on the budget, yes.
And are you going to miss the noise of people walking around outside your window?
No, I kind of like that. You know, sitting up there and here comes the gentleman walking by.
The proposed referendum to fund roads and bridges was rejected by voters late in the year. Where does this leave the county in terms of road and bridges maintenance and repair?
The county's looking at several options on things they can do to possibly, they are going to increase monies available for roads. We spend more money on roads than people imagine. We're also working with state representatives to see if we can get an increase in C funds, which we should be able to do. And so we're looking at that and several other things to attack the road situation. It won't be another referendum.
But it wouldn't. But even if you get all of that money you hope for, it wouldn't be anywhere near enough to put us on the 7-year.
No, I mean, but there's hardly any place in South Carolina, any county, that has enough money to take care of their road system. They just don't.
Will the priority list that were put together still be used for the patch and repair?
Absolutely it would, because that was based on an in-depth survey of what needed to be done.
You think most citizens had a good idea of what the challenges are facing roads and bridge repair?
I think that the citizens spoke and council's going to react to how they spoke. And I think, the county could not advertise or participate in that. The only thing we could do is provide information. But the people have spoken, so that's it. So there has to be another way.
Parks and entertainment were also in the spotlight again this year. What did the return of Rock the Country do for the Civic Center and for Anderson?
It puts us on the map entertainment-wise. I think we're fixing to begin to reap benefits that we expected to happen, but I think this upcoming year is going to be really different and really exciting, and we've got some people who want to invest some money with us to do some improvements out there. I'm talking about serious money and long-term commitments. We're already working on Rock the Country and several other things like that, so I think it's going to be a good year, but that really brings a lot of money into the community.
And they'll be back this year.
Yes, we had a meeting on it yesterday.
And Celebrate Anderson finally featured a non-country act, and it looked like Cool and the Gang brought in a record crowd at the amphitheater, more than 11,000. Does this mean we're going to see more musical variety at the Civic Center?
You're going to see more musical variety, and we're already looking to see who we can get for Celebrate Anderson. Hasn't been pinned down, but it will be something that appeals to everybody.
That was a record crowd.
That was a record crowd.
So that sent a pretty clear message.
That sent a very clear message.
Well, next door, there's big crowds always at the Kid Venture, and work continues out there. What's the next phase for that part?
Kid Venture, hopefully we can add another phase on that, but we have to do some work at Wellington Park. We're going to do some paving for the parking lot down there and some sidewalk work. So that's one of the big things that council's interested in, is a continuous improvement at Wellington Park. We also need to spend some money at Broadway Lake. We've got some things that we need to do in that area, so we're looking to do that. We would love to have another soccer field up at Dolly Cooper, because that's desperately needed. We have a lot of work going on at Dolly Cooper now, the pickleball courts, and we're finally going to have a permanent restroom up there, so we're working on that. The work is continuing on the new park in Piedmont. We're really excited about that, and we'll be looking to improve some of our other facilities. Saturday, went out to the airport en route to the huge high school fishing tournament we had out there. So I went out there around 1:30 at the airport, and you know, the bathrooms now open at the airport playground, and it was slammed. And so then we went to the high school fishing tournament, 250 boats, 2 kids in each boat, and an adult in that boat. So it was a madhouse out there. So that went on last week, and we got another tournament coming up in December. But everything, still need to do some additional things at Green Pond. We're finally getting the electrical system for the amphitheater in place and lighting placed out there, so we're excited about that.
Does that mean it's going to be productions, plays?
We're hoping to have a really nice play that will appeal to children of all ages out there. We're working on that very seriously, and we've received some nice pledges from people who want to help sponsor that, because again, 200 years of Anderson County, 250 years of our country, so we're gearing up for that. Beverly at the museum is working hard to put that. We had our first event when we put a marker on Robert Anderson's grave, which is right beside Andrew Pickens' grave, and we had that service at the Yellowstone Church, and somebody said, well, why didn't you have it in Anderson County? Well, when that happened, there was no Anderson County, no Pickens County, no Oconee County. It was the Pendleton District, and that's where he was buried. But that's not where he was originally buried. He was buried across the river, and they couldn't get him to the Yellowstone Church because there was a flood. So later, when everything calmed down, they dug him up and put him over there at Yellowstone Church, right beside Andrew Pickens, who was his friend, his biggest friend forever and ever and ever. And his gentleman said at the ceremony, he said they were side by side throughout life, and now Anderson and Pickens County are side by side throughout life.
And it's the kickoff. There's going to be a parade for the.
We're looking to put together a parade that reflects all facets of Anderson County history, and not all of it's good, not all of it's bad, but it's history. So we're looking for people to join. We've already had a pledge from a number of high school bands. I would hope that every part of the county and every high school that has a band or middle school participates in it, because you only do it every 200 years.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to make it something special.
There's going to be events throughout the year, though, right?
Oh, events. We have other markers that we're going to dedicate, other things we're going to do, special events, lots of lectures and things like that.
You mentioned the river. The Slid River Blue Trail also seemed to grow this year. New places to put in on the river. Remind people what's going on out there, and also talk about Piedmont Park, which I don't think a lot of people are familiar with that.
Well, if you're at the dam, at Piedmont, okay? Here's the dam. Before you get to the dam, it's the property right over there. 30 plus acres. Being developed right now. It's going to have trails. It's going to have a handicapped kayak access and other activities. And we're really excited about it. Again, thank our Senator Cash, Senator Gambrill, for putting all that money in there to help us do all of these things that we're doing. But it's under construction right now, and we've got people just desperate for recreation and things to do. Kid Venture's always packed. The city's beautiful Lindley Park's always packed. So we're just doing what the citizens ask us to do.
People talk about we have a lot of retirees moving here, which we do, but there seems to be the growth in the number of children seems to be exponential as well.
Well, it's interesting that every school district is losing population, children, except for School District 1. But I think that's cyclical. But it also has to do with the national birth rate. People aren't having 3 and 4 and 5 kids anymore. They're just not. They're having 1 or 2. People are waiting longer to get married. So a lot of factors in that that are here in Anderson, but they're really across the country. I mean, there was another magazine yesterday, 9 best places to retire in South Carolina. Anderson County, again. I think Aiken was listed there, and I can't remember Anderson. I don't remember the other ones, but you know, it just continues to go. So yes, we have a lot of people who are moving here from other places. 39% of the people living in Anderson County right now were not born in South Carolina.
And that's continuing to grow, isn't it?
It's continuing to grow.
I'm kind of hopscotching, but before we leave Piedmont Park, people who've not seen it, it doesn't feel like it's right there close to the dam. It feels like an isolated.
Well, I mean, if you go across the dam and you turn down that road, you will see it. It kind of juts out, and then you will be able to see it. But yeah, it's kind of tucked in there. But we're trying.
It feels like you're away from.
Well, you won't think you're going to think you're in nature. You're in the mountains or someplace like that. You're not going to think you're that close to civilization, but you're very close to Powdersville, Greenville, and all those areas. So we expected to get a great deal of use. Another thing. At River Forks, which we're not going fast enough to suit me, you know, at Green Pond, we have host sites. And we have 2 groups that live in they're campers. In exchange for that, they keep an eye on Green Pond and they pick up litter and do everything that works out well. And we're in the process of putting 2 at River Forks. It just cuts down on vandalism. There's always a presence. They help keep the area clean. Their eyes on it. So as soon as those get built, I'll feel a whole lot better down there.
And that's in the works right now?
It's in the works right now.
Well, the Saluda River Rally and Rhythm on the River were combined into a single day of events this year. How did they evaluate that? And do you think
this year we're going to have 2 separate events because we think we get 2 separate crowds. So we're going to go back to what it was. So
seem to be more kids at the Rhythm on the River.
Yeah. And so we're going to have 2 separate events just like it used to be, which I think that's better because you're going to appeal to 2 different groups. Some of it, there's some crossover, but some there's not.
Is that Saluda River, is it important, I mean, just in general to recruitment for economics and for recreation and stuff in Anderson County? Because a river is always one of those things people looking around.
Well, Lake Hartwell's one of our biggest draws. The Saluda River's a big draw. You see what, when they enhanced the Reedy River in Greenville did, which I think is largely responsible for the growth of downtown Greenville, but what do I know? But, you know, it wasn't there, and then all of a sudden, boom, everybody was there. And the Saluda River has that same potential, and Piedmont has that same potential. And we're just hoping that if we keep plugging along, it's going to get to where it's another Traveler's Rest, and that's what people have told me. Said, Rusty, this is what this is going to become. I hope they're right.
And the Saluda River was never the mess that the Reedy River was.
No.
You could smell the Reedy River.
No, until you got down to Ware Shoals, South Carolina, when you had the big Regal plant down there, and you could tell what color dye they were running by looking at the Saluda River.
How did the economy fare for Anderson County in 2025?
I think we had some nice new additions. Announced 250 jobs the other day, then Ruco the other day. But one thing about that, when I was over there for the groundbreaking or the dedication of that, this fellow I know who worked at Orion Rugs forever and a day, really nice guy. And he came up and I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Well, when Orion Rugs closed, me and my friends came over here and we went to work." So people get the idea that you don't need to bring in anybody else. Well, you don't know when somebody's going out of business. You never know. And hopefully before the end of the year, we might have at least some more good news about new jobs coming in. But
I'm hearing the Monday after Thanksgiving there might be an announcement.
well, there could be, there might be too. But the other thing is a lot of these jobs are engineering jobs. A lot of these are jobs. And I've already told you about this, but that the engineering program at AU is putting people out, and that they're first class of engineers. I know 3 of them work right now for one of our companies here in Anderson. They absolutely love it. They love it. They're so happy. First engineering class at AU.
And we seem to this past year, at least it felt like this at county council meetings, that a lot of existing industries were expanding this year. Is that
Yes,
was my imagination, or is that?
No, but you're exactly right. And that's a good sign, because see, a lot of these that council voted on this year were homegrown local industries. Sargent Metal, for example, okay? And we have some other industries that are going to expand that have been here, homegrown, started forever. And we're always love to help home folks the most, the best, as many as we possibly can.
Unemployment is 4.6%, which is the latest data I could find. But we're still among the lowest in the state. Is that about right for where we are, 4.6%?
Well, I wish that we were, that sounds right, but I like 3%.
Is that possible to get to 3%?
We've done it before.
In 2024, we added a new country to those which have invested in Anderson County, bringing the total to 19. Any hopes of adding another new nation in the year ahead?
Yeah, but it's very interesting in some of the industries we have. We have a lot of people from Croatia who are working in some of our new industries here, and engineers working alongside American engineers. So, I mean, quite the international melting pot around here, with companies from Ireland, companies from France, and it's going to continue to grow. It just is. And we want them here. We want them to make stuff in the United States. We want our local people to do well. And a lot of these companies sell to each other. And we try to hook up as many people. Hey, you need that? They do that. Machine shops, which Anderson County has a good many, they're cutting edge. And most of those are homegrown machine shops. And they're staying really busy supporting larger industries until they become larger industries.
What is it about Anderson that, I mean, you've been doing this since Michelin was
Since time began.
that makes Anderson an attractive spot for folks from Europe and other places?
Well, somebody's going to say, well, 85. Yeah, 85 has a huge influence on us. But a long, long time ago, there was a gentleman in Spartanburg. Nobody probably remembers his name. His name was Dick Tukey. And he said, there are a lot of people over in Europe, and all of our textile industries are dying. I'm going to see what I can do. He should get the credit, which nobody probably even remembers his name. I do. And he said, we need to go over there and tell those people about us. And he started that. But when one foreign company comes here and has a good experience, then they tell another one. Because a lot of times when we're doing recruiting, they want to go talk to other industries. They just do. How do these people treat you? What's it like here? How will my family like it here? And it just feeds on itself. If you got as many flags from foreign countries as we have here, we've already proven ourselves that we welcome you here to become part of Anderson County.
So they see these internationally known brands here, and that sort of gives you a cachet.
So if they think it's good enough for us.
Speaking of homegrown stuff, there's been a good bit of movement on cleaning up some of the mill sites this past year. Is 2026 the year we're going to start seeing some of these being built?
Well, I don't know, but I can tell you finally that the Shakola Mill project in Honeypath that we've partnered with the town of Honeypath is going to become a reality. And I think we're going to have good progress over in Pelzer. We just did the Veterans Monument over there. And
at the Lower Mill
property, and now the county owns that property. So yes, I think we're going to make great strides. Not as many as I want, but we're going to do everything we can to get them all cleaned up.
How about Equinox? Where are we at on Equinox?
Equinox, we're going to have to do some more work on that. Things are not going as I assumed they would, so we're going to recalculate.
What has to be done over there for the next step?
Well, really, it's not a bad site environmentally, but it needs to be cleaned up. And so that's what we're going to be engaged in, cleaning it up.
That's expensive.
Because that area over there is fixing to blow sky high.
Right.
I mean,
when the Chemtech stuff gets built.
Yeah, when the Chemtech stuff gets built and that stuff, people talk about, they've always said bad, well, those are the alphabet streets. ride through the alphabet streets and see the new houses that are going up on vacant lots and the older houses that are getting fixed up. Now somebody's going to say, well, that's gentrification. Maybe to a degree, but a lot of that is homegrown because these people have jobs and they can fix up those houses. And so we're really excited about that.
The Anderson County Farmers Market seemed to have another big year. My understanding is they had to turn vendors away despite having tents in the parking lot. And the holiday market kicks off this weekend.
It kicks off this weekend.
And here they're also going to turn things away.
And it will be a big thing, and Sharon does a wonderful job with that every year, and it gets bigger and bigger. And it's a fun place to go. If you don't want to buy anything, it's fun just to be around that atmosphere.
I've asked you this before, but have we outgrown that facility there? I mean,
we're awfully close. I can assure you we are awfully close.
Is there an alternative somewhere else we could?
Well, we could put it downtown, but that's one idea.
I love having Greenville and Spartanburg both have theirs downtown.
Charleston, Marion Square.
Yeah. Most everything we're talking about, looking back on this past year, revolves around funding. How's the county looking at midpoint year for the budget? Because I know the budget year starts.
We're good right now, but we're going to have a difficult budget year coming up. The expense of the jail and other things like that. But we're already working on the budget for next year because you have to. I mean, you really start working on next year's budget when you pass the other budget. So it's a lean and mean operation, but we always run lean and mean, so compared to other counties our size.
After a few years, council continues to evaluate the countywide EMS service. What grade would you give it today, and how has it improved since it was made a countywide service?
I think, not what I think, it won a System of the Year award. Our director won Director of the Year award. That is always a very difficult business because you're dealing with people in times of stress. But I think they deserve an A. And they care about it, and they work hard on it. We are fixing to put body cameras on all of our paramedics just to make sure everything, for their protection, our protection, the patient's protection. So we're continuously improving what we're doing along those lines.
That brings to mind, you mentioned a statewide award. Our emergency preparedness was also recognized for their work.
Yes. Yes.
Josh Hawkins got those.
Josh Hawkins, Shaggy. Josh Hawkins, I think he's the best in the state. I just think he is because
he's homegrown too.
And homegrown too. All of our people, to a large degree, are homegrown people born and raised here, which is very unusual. But all of those people, they love Anderson County. I love Anderson County, but they love Anderson County too. So they work with passion. They care about it, and we're still where a whole lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Well. Who was in that wreck over in Pelzer? Well, you remember George Jones? He used to work at Sheriff's Department. Yeah. Well, that was his brother. We're still that size where that happens every day.
And we have an EMS director that you and I remember, the teenager who used to want to climb the towers to replace light bulbs.
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely. And still does.
He needs to stop that now with his family. County Council continues to fine-tune the development and guidelines.
And we have meetings on that this afternoon.
Working with CodeWright?
Working with CodeWright. We have meetings. We've met with developers this week. We'll be having other meetings with developers this week and just trying to get their input plus other people's input, citizens' input, putting some things together. One of the big things right now is mass grading, and they're tackling that with a vengeance and several other things, but they're being continuously rolled out. Screening for developments, that's already in place. A lot of the things that they have already passed are just now coming into play with new developments. But there's more to do, much more to do.
Is there a timeline when CodeWright will have them?
CodeWright will be working for a good while more. But as we're working with CodeWright, there are things that we can do now, not wait until the thing is completely over.
Zoning was also a big topic in 2025 with several areas, mostly rural, voting in favor of zoning in their precincts. What do you think that means? Do we expect to see more to follow suit next year?
I would imagine you would have a lot of areas that want to be zoned, and I think that's great.
What does it mean if a precinct votes to do that?
What it means is, if this piece of land is graded zoned for single-family homes, that's the only thing that can go there. That's it. And so it gives you, as way one person explained it to me, said, y'all already have the bad parts of zoning. You don't have the good parts of zoning, which is this area is going to remain agricultural. This area is going to be single family. This area is suitable for commercial. That's what zoning does. It tells you where you can place these things. And those three areas all voted that we want to be zoned, and we had numerous meetings with people in that area, put out the map. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? And the majority of people in those three areas said, this is what we want. We like the way it's laid out. So they voted for it. And we have more people in the pipeline.
Affordable housing is always a challenge. What is the county doing? Can the county do anything to help with affordable housing?
We work with Rebuild Upstate, Homes of Hope, several groups to try to provide housing and to maintain existing housing, because, I mean, if you lose a house, you've lost a house. So we're working with those groups and other groups on affordable housing. We're also working with some developers who want to bring in affordable housing. And what is affordable housing? What is that? What is affordable housing? And with land prices going up, it's getting very, very hard. But that's why it's important that our wage rates increase so people can afford houses.
And what is the average wage rate in Anderson?
I think it's almost $24 an hour right now, but still not high enough.
And talking about affordable housing and transitional housing, you've been working with Hope Missions on that.
Hope Missions on transitional housing. We put that out for bid and didn't receive any takers, although we were assured that two groups were going to, so we're putting that back out.
As we wrap up the year, the county's 57-foot Christmas tree is visible from the window. The official lighting is December 5th. When will the music start in the clock tower? And how much more can that tree grow with that permanent platform you've got there now?
Oh, it can get a little bit higher because that is a concrete platform, and it can get higher and it can support it. And we're looking forward to that. And we always have the sneak peek Wednesday, tomorrow night. We will crank it up at 5 o'clock because a lot of families come home for Thanksgiving. And so we'll do that for the weekend. Then we will turn it off, and then we'll have the tree lighting next Friday night.
Music from today or Wednesday?
Oh, Wednesday. Oh, tomorrow the music starts.
Right. Well, finally, January is almost here. Any big news that you can talk about coming the first few weeks of January?
I'm hoping all the big news comes in the first few weeks of December. That's what I'm hoping.
But if you had if you were a teacher given a report card for Anderson County for 2025, what grade would you give?
I would give Anderson County an A, and I'm always going to give Anderson County an A. Other people may give it a B, a C, or a D, but I'm always going to give it an A.
What notes would you have for the parents, though? Needs improvement where?
Our economic development is fine. Our sewer system is fine. Our EMS is fine. There's a lot of things, but there are a lot of things that we can improve on. This is a continuing process of improvement in every area of county government because, hey, this works real good today, but you don't know what's going to work tomorrow. You don't. So thank God we have young people who are smart, sharp, and love Anderson County. I mean, the people that work for the county, you'd be amazed at the passion that they have for the county.